Welcome to the Bold Money Revolution podcast. This is your source for straight talking, no fluff, business and high performance conversations that add real depth and value to the way bold leaders live, work, and thrive. I'm your host, Tara Newman. I'm here to show you how to optimize your performance as a leader so that you can grow a business that is profit-rich, efficient, and allows you to generate real, tangible wealth for yourself and others. We are here to help you lead with your values, to perform without overwhelm and burnout, and to do your most important work in the world. The toughest part of setting a revenue goal is knowing where to start. It's normal to be confused about this goal. After all, how many of us actually got a finance degree at the same time as starting a business? Probably none of us, like a big goose egg. And if you weren't taught how to do something, and then you combine that with the internet marketing world telling you what you should want for your business, well, it can start to feel like a game of Monopoly. Instead of having a revenue goal, you operate on luck, a roll of the dice, and simply hope you bring in enough, which would explain why 83% of small business owners are living paycheck to paycheck. It would also explain why business owners feel like they are working way too hard for what they actually take home. This free calculator is simple and easy to use. Here's what Alexis had to say about it. It was helpful to compare my current reality and needs with my dream needs and to see concrete numbers laid out in front of me. Seeing the numbers in front of me made my goal seem more attainable and not so overwhelming. I want you to head on over to theboldleadershiprevolution.com/revenue and grab your revenue calculator today. Hey, bold leaders. Welcome to another episode of the Bold Money Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Tara Newman, and I am really excited to be here with you today because this podcast episode is the first one in our new batch. So if you know anything about me and about the way this podcast is created, I'm a big fan of batching. It helps our content production move along smoothly and provides solid organization for my team. And it's probably been about 6 to 8 weeks since I've flipped on the mic and recorded. Because we're not only creating content for all of you, but we are creating content for the Bold Profit Academy. So staying on schedule is critical to me, having the space to enjoy life outside of this business. So the last batch of content for the podcast was more about high performance related topics, talking about goals, energy, mindset, starting the year on the best foot. This next batch of the podcast is going to be more specific around sales, money, with a few pops of performance and things that make you go, right? Always here to help you think more critically, think more deeply, explore the nuance of business and the topics that we cover. One of the topics we're going to be exploring more deeply is the gaps between how things are taught in the online business space and how sales are actually taught, because I'm concerned that traditional online business advice is keeping female business owners in a cycle of overwork and under-earning, essentially limiting their ability to pay themselves and in too many scenarios, not pay themselves at all. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. I am not here, if you've been following this podcast long enough, you know my style. I am not here to take jabs at anyone. There is no judgment. I think using the internet and digital tools is smart business strategy. However, it's time to reevaluate how these things are working for you specifically. And I know that launch strategies and Facebook ads and webinars and complex funnels appeal to some people and align well with their personalities. That's amazing. I think that's great. I'm here for everybody doing work that excites them and aligns with their strengths and their personalities. But for most of the women I work with, it's keeping them in a cycle of stress, exhaustion, and overwhelm, which is frustrating for me because some good old-fashioned sales skills can clear most of this right up. In the Bold Profit Academy, we spent all of Q1 focused on what we called a revenue acceleration cycle. This focused the women in the program on planning, walking them through my signature sales framework called EMS, Energy, Mindset, and Strategy, and getting them to identify leads and focus on their highest priority sales activity. And the results were phenomenal. Without running ads or doing anything differently, one woman 8 times her leads. She thought she had 2, but after completing the training and doing some implementation, she realized she had 16 leads. And these are women who are selling premium level services, so they don't need to sell 400 million of them. 16 leads in this case was enough. And she went on to not just sell out, but she oversold her program by working the EMS framework. In the Bold Profit Academy, you have the choice to complete quarterly implementation cycles with the group or doing the existing trainings on demand, allowing you to join at any time and get immediate results. So why am I telling you this? 1, doors are open and you absolutely should join us. You can go to our website, theboldleadership.com/academy, or ping me on Instagram or email me and let me know what questions you have. And if you've been to that sales page before, when it was the Brave Society, we have just updated that copy. So please go and check it out for another time if you've already visited it, and truly consider joining us. 2, I've noticed something about women small business owners through the work that I do and what I'm seeing in the Bold Profit Academy that concerns me, and it's the reason behind this podcast. So do you realize that you need to have sales skills to run a business? And I'm asking honestly, and I know that sounds silly, that question, and I'm asking this freely and without judgment, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But do you realize that you need to have sales skills to run a business? I also, in this moment, want to acknowledge all of you amazing experts out there who are credible, legitimate experts in your field. You love doing what you do, but you don't love running a business. That is hard because we have to be able to do both. And honestly, that is why I created the Bold Profit Academy, to take some of the running of the business off your plate, put it on my plate, because that is what I do really well, and give you frameworks and resources and tools to plug and play in your business so you can just go and do the thing you love, right? And to give you some of these sales skills so that you have clients coming in, so you have someone to do the thing you love with. Because what I see a lot of is women who find the online space seeking solutions to growing a business and consuming a lot of advice geared toward generating leads, nurturing relationships, and by giving all the value, but not a lot of focus on converting those leads to buyers. Through your actual development and skill in selling. There is also an overemphasis on generating more leads when the problem is you're not likely converting the leads you have. Therefore, more leads isn't going to necessarily help the long-term problem, which is actually what I think is the strategy here that people use when they teach in the online space. More leads will initially make you sales, getting you a quick win and hooking you on and into the coach and marketers programs. But over the long run, this strategy will break down because it will keep you in a never-ending cycle of chasing new leads and converting very small percentages of them. So I hope the way I said that was clear. But I think that's something that we need to be looking at when we consider what programs we join is, are they teaching strategies for the long term, or are they teaching quick win strategies in order to hook us into the next program? As I continue to see this strategy play out and fail, I've become curious as to why it's hooking so many women, even though it's a recipe for exhaustion. I think it's actually very layered, but at the heart of this is, one, internet businesses are pretty good at marketing, but actually terrible at sales. I measure this by conversion rate. Most internet marketing relies on lots of leads through paid traffic and small conversion numbers. But the reason why this is so attractive is nobody actually has to put in the effort to gain sales skills. And why don't people, primarily women, want to gain sales skills? I think that we just don't realize we need them, first and foremost. And that's why I said, like, I'm asking this question and I'm not doing it from a judgmental way or to be silly, because 15 years ago, when my husband and I started our first business with bucket loads of hope and faith, but not a lot of sales skills, we didn't realize we needed them. I mean, it was like really funny now to go back and talk about that, which we did. And we had a good laugh because we were both credible experts in our fields and had always achieved success through hard work and determination. So we thought that was all we were going to need, faith, positive thinking, hard work, determination. It never occurred to us that sales skills were a thing, but there was no amount of hustle that was going to make up for our lack of sales training. So we went out of business and ultimately had to declare bankruptcy. And once we were on the path to recovery, we made a commitment to always prioritize our own sales training, to hire the best coaches to learn from, to regularly upskill by reading books, and making sure we continuously debrief our own sales experiences so we can learn to improve. Which leads me to the second reason that I think this has become an issue, is that women don't think they can become skilled salespeople because they have outdated beliefs about what it looks like and what it means to make sales in their business. So that's actually the conversation I want to have today. A huge part of what I'm doing in the Bold Profit Academy is reframing the way women think about sales. So today I want to share some ways that you too can begin to reframe the way you look at sales. Reframing your language and thinking around sales is the best way to make selling less intimidating for you and ultimately more enjoyable. Because if we can get you to associate excitement and enthusiasm with selling, we have completely changed the game. So if you have thought that sales have felt icky or slimy or sleazy, or you don't want to do it like them, or you just can't get yourself all that excited about it, this episode is definitely for you. So first way to reframe this is, let's take the lens off of you for a second. I get it. You think it's uncomfortable, icky, slimy, smarmy, whatever your shit is around sales. I understand. You don't want to be like them being gross salespeople you see in the world. I was like that too. But reframe this and put your focus on the buyer. Think of a time when you purchased a service or a product. You were in need. You had a problem that you genuinely wanted resolved. You were going along in life and everything was good, and then wham, something happened. Your appliance broke and you needed it repaired. It snowed and you needed your driveway shoveled. You could no longer live with sciatic pain, so you called the chiropractor. You wanted to travel to Italy, so you hired a tutor to teach you Italian. You were unhappy in your relationship, so you called the therapist. You were tired of your content being overlooked, so you hired a graphic designer to jazz it up a bit. You were sick of feeling uninspired in your living room, so you bought new furniture that you wanted. I mean, right? Like at any point, you had a problem and you were looking for a solution. And the same goes for the service that you sell. Someone really needs your help to get from point A to point B. They need to know you understand them. They want to know what they're experiencing is okay. And you have a way to get them from point A to point B through your service or product. Think about all those leads you have. Those are people. They are human beings. People who want help, but the only way they can get help is by you making the sale. All right, so that's reframe number one. Take the lens off of you and put it on the person who is truly struggling. And I know some of you do really critical, important work in the world. Some of you are in the health field even, that like they might actually be in physical pain or emotional pain. And they're struggling and they're suffering. And you are the person who can support them in moving them to another direction. And, if you're in business and maybe you're in marketing, right? And somebody's doing all the things in their marketing, but they're not doing the right things. And they just keep wasting time and energy and money, throwing money into marketing that's ineffective. Like that person's in pain. That's a problem. That's exhausting and debilitating. And who wants to feel that way? And you can help that person. So take the lens off of you and put it on your buyer, the person who you're here to help. Reframe number 2, words matter. All right, words matter. I talk to women all the time and hear the way they talk about sales. Most of the time, they're parroting back stuff they've been sold, and it's not aligning with their values and who they are. And here's a few examples. The word lure, as in, I need an opt-in to lure people in. Nope. You need an opt-in so you can speak to a person's most immediate need, which allows you to have the next part of the conversation with them. We're not luring anybody anywhere. We are just putting a light post out and letting people see that you exist and that you can solve the problem, and you are welcoming them in. That is very different than luring them in. Convince. This is another word I hear. Convince, as in I need to convince this person that this is the correct program for them. No, you want to help your prospective client understand if this is the best decision for them right now to solve their problem. There's no convincing. That's it. You don't have to make this sale. And as a matter of fact, if you have actual sales skills, it reduces a lot of that scarcity because you know you have plenty of leads. You know how to convert those leads to sales. You know how to talk to people in a way that help them decipher whether or not this is the best decision for them right now. And there are plenty of people that you can have these conversations with and enroll in your programs, right? Because you have the sales skills to do that. There's no mystery here. You're not convincing anybody of anything. Direct outreach. I teach direct outreach, and I understand how intimidating those words can be, the words direct outreach, because it's the thing I've struggled with the most in my business. But all I'm teaching is how to start conversations. That's direct outreach. You are starting a conversation. And so if we reframed it that way, does it make it less intimidating? Can we just be human beings having conversations? Right? Take the pressure off. You get to find words that feel amazing to you. You are not beholden to how others talk or think about sales, which brings me to my third and final reframe. You get to create your own process. Honestly, creating a sales process that works for you isn't talked about much in the online space. Most people are selling tactics, how to use ads, webinars, funnels, email marketing, social media, that kind of stuff. And what happens is those tactics don't get tied back into a process or strategy, meaning you don't really know why you're using them other than the course you took said they will work, or because this is what everyone is telling you to do. So things eventually start to feel a little or a lot misaligned or draining or inconsistent because you don't know how they work and if they work and why you're doing them, which is why I teach 7 basic sales steps in the Bold Profit Academy that you can take and make your own. You can have a lot of fun deciding on what tools you will use and when you will use them in your sales process. As a matter of fact, our Q3 curriculum is going to be all about creating your own sales process in a way that honors how you love to work and relate to people. Then we can find the right sales tools for you. And some of them might be online sales tools. Amazing. It might be email, it might be a webinar, it might be ads, but it will become so much easier and less stressful when you know why you're using them and how they fit in your sales process. But there is no one way to sell. Your sales process should be as unique as you are, because when you find that alignment, you will be so excited to take your potential client through your process and help them get from point A to point B. Thanks for taking the time to listen today. I hope this has been helpful. Hey, Bold Leader, I'm so excited to announce that we are accepting applications for the Bold Profit Academy, formerly known as the Brave Society. And we can't wait to have you join us just in time for our Q2 curriculum. Starting in March, we are focused on nailing your offers and your offer stack so you can stand out in the marketplace and, quite frankly, not hustle so dang hard for your revenue. One of the biggest problems I see among small business owners is the creation of cookie cutter offers that don't truly add value to your business because you don't fully understand your own value. And that leads to a tremendous amount of overworking and under-earning. Reviewing offers, updating offers, creating new offers. These are all critical skills so you can leverage your time and scale your income, which is exactly what we are doing inside the Bold Profit Academy in Q2. Each quarter, we have live curriculum in addition to our already on-demand training that you can implement as you need it. So if you are looking to understand the 7 components required for creating your boldest offer so you can stand out in the marketplace and increase your sales, learn how to stack and price offers so you can hit your revenue goal without overworking, create a framework that allows you to market, sell, deliver your offer in a way that is efficient and repeatable, learn how to qualify leads so you know just who is the right fit for your offer and when they are ready to buy, as well as create a simple communication strategy to educate your leads on your offer so it speeds up the buying process, then you are going to want to head over to theboldleadershiprevolution.com/academy and join us today. If you found this podcast valuable, help us develop more bold leaders in the world by sharing this episode with your friends, colleagues, and other bold leaders. Also, if you haven't done so already, please leave a review. I consider reviews like podcast currency, and it's the one thing you can do to help us out here at the Bold Leadership Revolution HQ. We would be so grateful for it. Special thanks goes to Stacey Harris from Uncommonly More, who is the producer and editor of this podcast. Go check them out for all your digital marketing and content creation needs. Be sure to tune into the next episode to help you embrace your ambition and leave the grind behind.